Okay, good afternoon all. Hope everyone is well. Karina, good morning to you. Hope everyone's had a great weekend. I got some changes to talk to you guys about today. I'm changing the way I trade. I'm having way more success trading penguin style trade. I've already taken a trade this morning, just worked beautifully. So I've been trading a few evenings over the last couple of weeks. Whenever I tend to take Pat's trades, I tend to struggle. But taking Penguin's trades, the new way he takes it, where he gets in and gives himself a wider stop up, I've been having so much success with. Had some payments, as you can see. So far this month, we're only on day 12 and I'm already up $7,000. So I'm expecting my best month this month. There's still, there's still nearly 3 weeks left of the month. So hopefully if I can improve on March, which was my best month so far, we'll see what happens. But I'll talk a little bit more about why I'm trading more this way. And also the chart you're looking at is the MES. I've also got another chart above. I'll quickly flick onto it. It's the NQ. So I'm trading the NQ as well. And you can see the trade I took on the NQ. I'm expecting a big second leg down in. We had a channel down there, 2 attempts to push higher. I jumped in here. And trading micros as well, I can add to it because obviously it's a lot smaller. So I'll talk a bit more about that in a bit. But we've had this big move up overnight. We had this massive push up. What is it? 24.6, about 80 points straight up. And it does look like we are moving higher. So what I'm looking for is 2 attempts to go lower. So if we can get in around here, that's where I'm looking to take an order. So we'll see what happens. So what I'm going to do is, the beauty about this as well is I can see my risk before I enter it. So I'm going to put a buy order in about here and see if that picks us. I'll put my stop down below there. Let's see if this takes us. Hopefully it will.
Order submitted.
So I'm putting my stop down there. And I'm putting my profit target up here way before the highs. And my total risk... my total risk is $106. So I like that. You can clearly see 2 legs down. I've put my stop down here before these lows. So hopefully we get a move up. But as I say, the risk is so much smaller. So, Exponential, how you doing? Tony, how you doing? Jan, how you doing? So we'll see what happens anyway, but total risk, $106. And the beauty about trading micros, I'm only trading 1 micro at the moment. Doesn't matter about the size of the move. It's the financial sort of implications. So if this... I'll quickly show you the trade I took. I only took this one on 1 account earlier, but I'll quickly flick over. That's the trade I took 2 legs up. And as it was coming down, when we got this lower high, I added to it. That's the beauty about trading micros. You can add to it. So, and that got me $300 just on the 1 account. So we'll just keep an eye on that as well. But I'm not having much luck with Pat's. With price so choppy, I'm just getting chopped up. I've won very little trades lately, but I think the last 7 or 8 trades, Penguin trades, I've won them all, and it's just so much better. It's more relaxing. You have more time to think. As I say, I can add to it. You know what I mean? Trading 1 micro, and I can manage my risk. The trouble is, trading Pats, you never know what your risk's going to be till that signal bar. We're dictated by the signal bar. Whereas here, I put this sort of marker out first, and I can see exactly what risk I'm taking, and I can adjust my micros accordingly. So we'll see how this plays out anyway, but we've got this leg up, we've got a pullback, we've got another leg up, we've got 2 attempts to push lower. You can clearly see 2 legs down there. I've put my stop at these previous swings, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see how this takes off. Let me have a look. Do you think you are losing a Pats, Lance, because you are going for 3 points? No, I'm just reading the market wrong, bud. It's not so much the points. I'm just reading it wrong. The trouble is with Pats, you've got no time to think. You've got to get in. You get seconds to think and make a decision. And the trouble is, whatever you do in life, the less time you have to plan and to decide, the more chance you're going to cock up. Whereas I had these 2 legs marked because that's what I was expecting before the trade even happened. And I put this thing we got here up so I knew exactly what my risk would be and I can adjust my micros accordingly. So I'll quickly flick on to the trade I took on the NQ. That one there, you can clearly see I was expecting 2 legs down. We had 2 attempts to push higher and I got in there and I added to it because I was on individuals. I added to it. So, and I know it's not going to work all the time. It's not it's not a golden egg by any means, but you've got time to think. If I think I've made a mistake here and I've judged the market wrong, I can get out. And not only that, if it works beautifully, I can actually add to it. And that's the beauty, about using micros. So we'll see what happens anyway. But sometimes he gets in like this if he thinks the market's right and he'll put a stop down here. Other times he'll wait for it to move and put a stop under it. But we'll see anyway. We'll see. But that's the beauty, is I can decide to get out if I want, or if it works well, I can decide to add. So it's just, I've been thinking so much about it over the weekend, and I've been playing around with Penguin style on and off for a long time, and I've been watching lots of his videos, and it's just so much more relaxing. I'm just finding, I'm finding Pat stressful. It's too, for me, it's too much on the edge of your seat all the time. You've got no time. You've got no way for mistakes. You can't second guess trades. If you get in and it doesn't go well, you're out the game. So I'm going to play around with this for a while anyway. As I say, my whole risk on this, I'm risking 1 contract on this. It's $106 maximum. And if I do think this is coming down and I notice something else and I've made a mistake, I can get out for less of a loss. You read so much about traders saying if they think they've got into a loser, they'll get out early. You haven't got that time with Pats. Because if you've got into a loser and the market triggers you and comes down and stops you out, you can't get out. You got no, there's thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Agree with Pats. You have to think and I'm just finding it stressful and with the emotions and not a great deal of great setups. I'm making mistakes. Whereas this, I've got time to think. So far it's going against me, but I'm in the red for $30, $40. If I'm seeing something else and I think I've misjudged it, I can get out. But I feel like I can't breathe sometimes with Pats. And not only that, I feel like I'm, you guys know I like a single malt. I'm finding I'm drinking a little bit more when I'm trading because I'm finding it so stressful. Yeah, it is down at the moment. Yeah, but that, I'm kind of okay. My total risk is $106. So if something doesn't go right, we'll see. There may be a bit of a channel here, but I've put my mark down here at these previous swing lows. So I was looking for a couple of legs back, and we'll see what happens. Not only that, it did pull back and it came down for a second leg. So we'll see what happens. But I've got options now. If I think this is continuing down, I can get out for less of a loss. Whereas with Pats, you can't. It happens that quick. You've got no time. So at the moment, that NQ is bouncing off some support there. I've made it so I can just flick over. So you can see that NQ is bouncing off some support there. So hopefully it pushes up. But I've been watching a lot of Penguin trades, and a lot of times he does get in and it does come back before it pushes up. It's kind of the way it is sometimes. But, if this trade worked beautifully, being I'm trading individual micros, I can add to it. So there's so much more options with this way of trading. I feel like I can breathe. So And I've having so much success with it, and that's why I ended up having a payment. If it was just trading Pats, I wouldn't have had a payment this month. So, but if I feel like this is going against me and something doesn't look right and I've noticed something else, I can jump out now for a $50 loss. It's quite likely to stop run the lows. Well, I've put it at these 3 bounces here. Any other liquidity, a lot of the times it'll come where we have these bounces, usually in most cases is the safest place. But it's taken maybe some of these, so that's okay. But I'm quite happy risking $100. But I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I'm so much relaxed now trading. I feel like I've got time to breathe and make decisions. 5 minutes looks like it's heading for the 30 minutes. But yeah, I was looking for, we had this channel up there. See, I was looking for a couple of attempts to push low and then a move up. And the beauty about getting in early, rather than waiting for a signal bar to form, you can put your stop down here and get out your profit before the highs. Because a lot of the times when it reaches these highs, that's where sometimes it can struggle. But yeah, I mean, it does look like it's coming down here, doesn't it? It does on the NQ, but we'll see. We'll see. I have got time to get out if I want to. But, depending on where you think the overnight highs are, maybe they're here, maybe they're here. We may be bouncing off the overnight highs. There's some support there. Sorry, yeah, some support there, support there. We'll see. But I got to tell you, I can't tell you how much more relaxing I felt trading this last week and a half that I've been doing. I've been losing Pats on my stream and I've been making money. Okay, and I've been making money from Penguin trades in the evening. It's all right, we've got scaffolders in. Excuse me a sec. It's okay. We'll see. This does look like it may continue down. We'll see. It is going sideways, so I'm still okay with it at the moment anyway. I don't want to get out of a trade that may turn. A lot of the times these Penguin trades, they do this and then they do eventually push up. We certainly got a bullish feel for it, so maybe we're going sideways. We'll see. But if I think I've made a mistake, I'm in the trade now for 10 minutes. I could get out for $30 odd loss. So... I've just got so many more options. So this does look like it's working down, doesn't it? That's fine, I've had about 7 or 8 wins in a row, and that's fine. I know sometimes you're going to lose. It's a fact, but I'm losing so much trading Pats at the moment. It's just not working for me. It's a lot less stressful, yeah. I'm just finding it so stressful, to be honest with you, trading Pats. You've got no room to maneuver. Our whole trade is based around one signal bar. If it triggers you, comes down, stops you out, there's nothing you can do. Whereas this, if I think this is coming down to these lows, I can get out with less of a loss. So we'll see anyway. So just looking at this NQ quickly, there is a possibility that we've had a channel with a break and a new low. So we'll see what happens. The good thing about having the NQ as well, you've got a sort of a different picture to look at. So I can compare the two. But you can see how well that trade worked perfectly. I'm expecting 2 legs down. You can see 2 legs up. Put me order right at the top of here. Put me stop up here, and I was out around about here. And it did what it kind of said on the tin. But I know it's not going to work all the time. But, you know, risking 1-to-1, that's the beauty about it. I can manage this so much easier on micros. You know, if the trade's looking beautiful and it's working, I can add micros to it if I want to. So we'll see what happens here. Now, we're bound to have liquidity down here, so whether it holds or whether it pushes through that, we'll see. If it starts to get close, I may just jump out of it, we'll see. But if we're down here for $80, I might as well carry on for another $20, because if there are stops below here, traders may start adding to it. You know, it depends. It's hard to say, really, isn't it? But I don't mind risking $106 per account. You know, my average loss, I took a trade the other day, Pats, just on one contract, and I lost $275 in one trade. I don't want to risk that much. I mean, look at the space I've got to play with here, and my only risk is $106. And I know exactly what my risk is going to be, because I draw this line here, this little indicator here, and it tells me per contract what my risk is. So we'll see anyway. But I'm hoping as price gets towards this area, traders may add to it. So we'll see anyway. But if you look at the NQ, we're starting to get a bit of a move up at the NQ, so we'll see. But oh, it's just so much more relaxing, not feeling like you sat on the edge of your seat and you can't breathe. Sean, Penguin trades in MES is okay, but with ES, it's going to be a lot more stressful compared to Pat's. Oh, mate, trust me, it isn't. Because of the huge stop loss. You say huge stop loss. The stop loss, the size of the stop loss absolutely makes no difference. My whole risk when this whole move is $106. That is it. So don't misinterpret a bigger stop loss to more loss. It's about how much you risk. He means doing it in ES. Oh, sorry, in the ES. Yeah, my mistake. Sorry. Yeah. So I'm looking at this now, and this NQ looks like it may be coming down. So we'll see. Some green news. See, I've got no news. I've got no news. We'll see. See, but you know, I read a lot about traders saying they get out of a trade, they get out of a losing trade quick, and they hold on to a winning trade. You can't get out of a losing trade trading Pats. You've got no choice, because you're in on one signal bar, whereas this, I've got so much, you know, so many decisions that I can, you know, so many options I can take. Does look like it's kind of going sideways. So if we have got a range here, we've had a breakout of a range, so it may push low. We'll see. The only news I was aware of was the core CPI, which we had at 1:30 UK time. I've got nothing that I know of. Some Fed inflation news and FOMC speaker. Yeah, I don't worry too much about the speakers. Low impact. Yeah, low impact generally doesn't do a great deal, does it? Just look at the NQ. If I think the NQ is going to push down, I may get out of this early, but the only difference between that and that is $30, $40, so I might as well just leave it. No higher medium, no, I didn't think there was. We are flattening off here, so we'll see. But that's the whole idea about giving it a bigger stop. And it really doesn't matter whether you give it a 10-point stop or a 100-point stop, as long as your size, risk size, works accordingly. It really doesn't matter. But oh, look, the breathing space I've got here and the relax. I'm relaxed to know that my maximum loss is $100 or $106. You never know what your loss is going to be until your signal bar's finished printing. It could be 8 ticks, it could be 28 ticks, and then you're kind of in. Because, you know, I consider myself still as an inexperienced trader. When you're trading on the edge of your seat like that, it's very easy to trade impulsively and you can just jump in. And I've done it many a times. So that's why I like this. I have time to think about it. You know, I could have got in this trade any time around here over the space of a few minutes. You know what I mean? So I've just got time to think. So we are getting a little bit of a bit of support here. So we'll see what happens anyway. I'm just looking at this NQ. I'll just flick over to this NQ chart. And we've had a channel down, maybe a break and a new low. But it could be this, which means 2 legs up, and this may come down and retest. And if it does, there may be a trade there. But as I'm kind of already in one, we'll see. So if I follow that bar there, that tells me we've already had a break and a new low. So this may be going up. So it may work after all. We'll see. Let's flick off this NQ now. But I could get out this trade now if I wanted to for a $30 odd loss if I thought, you know, I've misjudged something. But I know there'll have been buyers here, 3 bounces. So there's probably going to be stops. So it may be a bit stronger, that area. So as it comes down, traders may buy into that. We'll see. So I could put my stop here now, thinking if this does come down, chances are it's going to push lower. But as we're finding a bit of support here at the moment, I think this is just so much more relaxing. I can think about what I'm doing and make proper decisions. So there's a higher low there, which is triggered. So we'll see. I mean, this may come down and test this area and it may push down, but I'm in it for $40 at the moment. So I think Trump is speaking now. Yeah, the beauty of having bigger space as well is you're not taken out in a split second. See, I could bring my stop to there if I want. My maximum risk's $80 then. And also I can look at the NQ just to see what the NQ is telling me. And if this were textbook and the bigger picture was beautiful, I could add individual micros to it as it goes up and move my stop. So I'm securing profit and adding to my profit. So channel down with a break, a bunch of mushes, and we got a little double bottom there. There's bound to be buyers there, see? So I suppose the more people you've got holding stop there and buyers that may add to this move up, kind of the better it is. See, the picture is changed for me now. It doesn't look like it did. So I may decide to get out for break even here. We'll see, or I may decide to follow it up. The picture I was looking at was this and then a push higher. But we'll see. I'm just going to play it by ear. But I feel so much more relaxed. When I was in a trade the other day, my wife came in and she said to me after the stream, she said, "You look like you've been on drugs. Your eyes were glazed over like that. You look like you're on the edge of your seat. You look like you were grinding your teeth." And that's what I've been feeling like lately. So I could either get out here or stay in. What am I thinking at the moment? I think I read the 2 legs down, and it may continue on up, or it may come down and test these. So I might get out of here. I'll see what happens. I'll see what happens. In fact, it's looking kind of bullish at the moment on the NQ. If you look at the NQ, how do I change over the chart? Yeah, the NQ, maybe it's dropping now, but this may push up. We'll see. I could have got out of that if I wanted to, but as we've got this sort of triple bottom here, I thought I might as well just hold on and see what happens. I was happy with the risk. Yeah, the NQ is just dropping all of a sudden. It's looked like it's starting to work its way down. Now we've got a drop. 2 attempts to push lower, we'll see. Not sure if there's a channel there with that. It's quite a big break for such a small channel, so we'll see. Sellers are strong on the delta, are they? Could have a leg down and a leg down. Looking what the NQ's doing as well. I could get out if I wanted to with a Relatively small loss. Yeah, just looking at the NQ now. NQ's looking like it could just drop there. We'll see. The NQ is a good indicator as well. See, we could have a little channel here with a break and a new low. We'll see. We could have a leg and a leg down. So I may get out of this. We'll see. See what the NQ does here. We've had that little sort of channel and a break and a new low, so. One, two, three. Possible triple test to push high. We'll see. We have got some support here, so I think I might as well just hold at the moment, see if it bounces. If it does get below here, chances are it may tackle these lows here. But my whole risk at the moment, I'm in it for $40 if I wanted to get out. So if I put that here, there's $80 odd, you know, so I've got options. See what happens here. We've got a bullish bar here. Let's see if this pushes. If it starts to come down below there, I think it's coming lower, so I may get out of it. We'll see. Comes below there, it's coming down, so shh. Excuse me a second. Okay, excuse me a second. Okay, I'm just going to have to answer the door a sec. I'll leave this trade, see what happens. I'm going to put me stop there. If it takes me, it takes me. Or is this going to push up? I don't know, actually. We'll see. I may just get out of it. I'll just leave it. Bear me a second. Sorry about that. It's all right, they've gone. I'll put it there. If it comes there, it's coming below, so. It is a triple test, so it may work. We'll see. NQ's looking like we could get a quick drop. Yeah, the picture's changed now. It's not. I'm going to get
Order
out of this.
filled.
Okay, so what did I get? $40. That'll do me. $40 loss. It is looking like it's pushing down. So that's the beauty of this thing. I can think about it and make a decision without panicking. And I'm out for a $40 loss. So that's fine. I've got no issues with that. So no worries. So let me have a look at this. So we've got to move down. We've got 2 attempts to push lower. In fact, there may even be a long option here, actually. 2 legs down, but we need to come a little bit lower. So let's just have a look at that there. So let's put that there. That's the lows of the day. Sorry, that's the lows of this possible range. I don't know where I got in now. I think it was about there, I think. Stop was about there. Stop was right up there, wasn't it? So it was $108, so that's 106. So it was about there. Something like that. It was right, yeah, that's where it was. So we'll see if it'll still be worth seeing it, see if it works. But I'm quite happy to get out with it for a $40 loss. Yeah, you can. You can go for a walk. This is a Brooks Walmart trade. Brooks Walmart. Never heard of that. So, I mean, you know, you've got the options. You can just leave the trade and just let it go. And who knows, it may work. But if I think I've misread it and it's doing something else, and maybe I notice something that actually maybe it is ranging. So we've got a shoulder ahead and a shoulder, which if it is that, it's a bearish pattern. It may come down. So I've got out with a $40 loss instead of $106 loss. So, and yeah, it may go on to work, but so we may get 2 pushes up before it comes down. We'll see. So we're moving down. 2 attempts to push up. We'll see. I just can't do pats anymore. I just find it too hard. You haven't got time to think. You're on the edge of your seat all the time. It's so stressful. Need to get used to. Yeah, I know. I mean, I've been looking at it on and off for a couple of years, and I have played around with it. But if you think about what my win rate is on pats at the moment, it's bloody appalling. And my average loss is about $250. You know, I was in that trade for 10 or 15 minutes. I could see it wasn't working, and I got out of it for a $40 loss. It's just so much more relaxing. I was looking for a couple of legs here, and when it started to kind of get down here, that's where I kind of entered. But that's the beauty, you know, you can, and if it starts to work beautifully, you can always add individual micros to it. You know, if it's going away from you, you could reduce your risk. There's so much in the way of options. In fact, there's still 2 orders showing open there. Let me just disconnect and reconnect. Just trying to see if I can see some better channels. This is looking more like a range. Penguin. Following Penguin. I've been trading Penguin now evenings or afternoons for the last couple of weeks. And I've just been having so much more success. I've just been struggling with Pats lately. So I'm trading micros. So I just find Pats too difficult at the moment. It's just chopping around, and you're getting, it's almost impossible to manage your risk, because you never know what your risk going to be till your signal bars finish printing. It could be 8 ticks, it could be 28 ticks. Whereas trading individual, if I was looking for 2 legs down here now, I could work out my exact risk, because I could be thinking, okay, that's where I want to get in, that's where my stop is. 1 contract, $75 risk. Now, if I want to double up and go 2 contracts, 150. So I know exactly what my risk is before I take the trade. If I think we've got 2 legs down, you know what I mean, and I want to get in, say here, put my stop down here, I know exactly what my risk is before I take the trade. You can't do that with Pats. You just don't get no time. And the beauty about trading micros is obviously, they're in increments. You can trade 10 of them for every 1 contract, so you can customize them exactly to fit, to fit with your kind of exact risk. So we've got a possible 2 attempts to push higher. I still think it's likely to come down and take out these lows. We'll see. And I'm not taking trades because the risk. You don't know what the risk's going to be until the last second, and you know what it's like sometimes. Those bars just shoot up. I mean, I took a loss a couple of days. Was it Friday? It's $275. It's too much, and that was trading 1 contract. I've just been battered with Pats lately. You need super patience. You need to be super calm. You've got to make incredibly quick decisions, and as an inexperienced trader, which I still consider myself as, you're prone to taking impulsive trades. Just, you got that finger hovering. Do I take it? Do I not? And, you don't have time to think. So I'm wondering whether we get 2 attempts to push higher and then retest the lows. So we'll see what happens here. So we bounced here. If we get 2 bounces here, let's see what happens. It may come down and test this, but we've got this kind of leg down here. 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go higher. We'll see what happens. So I can work out, if I get into this trade around that midline and I put my stop maybe at that swing high, I'm out comfortably before the lows. There's my rest per contract. Will it push as high as this? Probably not. I could put my wrist there and I could be out comfortably for there. And that's $60 per contract. So I could, go 2 contracts and and I know exactly what I'm risking, $120. So, you know, I've got options. So if we're bouncing here, the beauty about getting in early as well is you're out before it starts to push down to you know, to support.
Order submitted.
Two legs up. We're at that midline. Let's put that to about there. At that previous swing. So $77 risk if that trade triggers.
Order submitted.
Okay, so that's where I entered. Now, $88. I'd rather get out. I'd rather keep that there. So $88 profit there. 2 attempts to push up. Right at that measured move. See what happens. Two legs up. In fact, 180. You know, I could double this up if I wanted to. I suppose it depends. It depends.
Order submitted.
Let's double that up. It depends how good. I'd rather get out a little bit. It depends how good the setup is. So I'd rather get out before those lows. So if I bring that to there and bring that, if I keep that there at those highs, two attempts to push up. I've been testing it for on and off for the last couple of weeks, but I've played around with the trades for a long time. I've watched his videos for a long time, so it's more or less very similar to Pat's. We moved down. It's almost like a second entry. That's kind of, you know, how the thing kind of works. We got a perfect measured leg there. It hit that measured leg in reverse, so so that's kind of the theory. We have two measured legs, and a lot of times when market makes two attempts to push higher, it's failing that middle line. A lot of times it will reverse. We'll see. I don't expect to get it right all the time, and I know there's going to be teething problems. And now I'm kind of trained in it the main time. You know, I may take a few losses, but in fact, you know what? Actually, I'm going to reduce this. Just to one contract. Keep that risk a little bit lower as I'm still kind of new. We'll see. I'd rather keep my risk at around about $100, and then I can always add if it shoots down and gives me a really nice kind of signal bar. We had a perfect, we had this kind of move down. It was almost like a spike in channel. Two attempts to push higher. We had a reaction right at the measured move, which I think is a good sign. similar picture on the NQ. In fact, actually looks more on the NQ. It looks more of a triple test, which I think is even more encouraging. 1, 2, 3 triple test. So I think that's, you know, it looks okay on the NQ. The picture's looking nice, and it is nice. Is this the NQ? Yeah, it is. You can see that line, can't you? Yeah. It is nice to have the NQ to kind of judge, you know, make a judgment as well. So I'll keep an eye on them, see what happens. And if this pushes down and has 2 legs back and gives us a beautiful signal bar, I could always add an extra micro to it. There's going to be a ton of liquidity here, if that's for certain. If I think I've got it wrong, I can bring my wrist down or take it completely off. Hey, Speedy, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, see, perfect measured leg, big reaction right at the measured move, and the midline as well. Triple test on the NQ. There's going to be liquidity here, here, and here. If it gets below here, hopefully it'll have a push. But once it gets to those lows, I can always, you know, bring my stop to break even if I want, so I'm in a risk-free trade. So just, you know, I've got time to think, adjust and plan during the trade. I'm under no pressure. I could add to it if the picture was looking beautiful, everything was working, I could add another micro to it. But I don't want to start jumping the gun and getting a bit too cocky and confident. I'd rather keep it small. You know, if I could get $100 a day profit, I'll be over the moon. I'm getting nowhere near that trading Pats at the moment. Yeah, we've kind of... See, if the NQ is... So it takes me a bit of time. The NQ, we've had that triple test. So hopefully... I mean, you never know ultimately. You just don't know how things can sort of turn. But, you know, we've clearly sort of moving down at the moment. We've clearly had 2 attempts to push up. We've struggled at that midline and then right at that measured move, and we've had quite a move down. So leg down, we're bound to get a pullback. You know, when you trade this strategy, taking heat is part of it. You can't avoid that. But, you know, this trade could go on for 15 minutes. I could change my mind. There's so much more I can do. And if you keep your risk low as well, there is a lot more of these setups around that I can see than Pat's. I took it. Where's the trade I took on Friday? Let me just see if I can see it. Okay, so I can't remember if it was Friday or not, but I took that losing trade on Friday. On Friday, I took 3 winning trades in a row there. I keep meaning to record it though when I'm not streaming. That was one of them on... I did that on the last one, just on the one account. I split up 3 accounts. So that was on PA 182 there. We clearly had 2 attempts to push higher, and that worked beautifully. And that made me $475 just on that one account. You know, because I won those other 2, I got a little bit confident there. But, you know, that one, clearly 2 attempts to move, stop down here, pushed up beautifully. That one as well, channel down, 2 attempts to push up, worked beautifully. It's just so much easier and cleaner to read, and you've got time to breathe. So we've got a little bullish bar there. We've just ticked above it and pushed down. So if this does continue down, I could always add a contract to it if I wanted to, add another micro. I'll see how this finishes. Ideally, I'd like to add it maybe down here when it starts to break through some of this. I don't want to get too confident initially. I'd rather just play it nice and calmly and just... I'd rather get it right than think about, you know, just making money and get a bit too greedy. So I will add one
Order
now.
submitted.
So... where does that... Oh, that's where I... Okay, so let's put that there. So let's put that back out. Why is that wrist showing a bit bigger? Let's bring this down a bit anyway. I'd rather just put that below there. I don't want to push below there, or I could put it there and just, once it gets to these lows, follow down with my stop. But there is 2 legs there, so you never quite know what it's going to do. But let's just put a measured move there, see what happens. We're getting close to a measured move there, see, so I need it to push below these. I could bring that there now and completely take off the risk. Oh no, tell a lie, haven't I? That's taken off the risk. It may bounce here. No, I know I should probably just leave it where it is, but perhaps I should just put it there. Let me just remove this. So I've put it there at that swing there. So my total risk now is $50. Once we break below here, it may spring back. So I might just keep this tight.
Order filled.
Beautiful. Okay, so that worked a treat. 2 legs up, reaction there. So you don't need to trade a lot now after that small loss. What's that? It would have been a loss because that's where I entered with that. But I had time to think about it and get out the trade early and mitigate that loss. But now, after fees, now I'm up over $100. If I can do that a day, I'm over the moon. So that worked a treat. That one, perhaps I should have waited for a little bit, because sometimes when you look at Penguin, he waits for a move above it and then jumps in there and puts his stop. Other times he puts an order in there, puts his stop down here. So he does it. He does it different ways, but you can see we clearly had 2 pushes up there. We couldn't get above that midline and we reversed. I got in early there. Maybe I should have waited for that bar, but to be honest with you, that's exactly where I was in anyway at the drop of that bar. So 2 attempts to push up and it worked. It took out all these lows and you know, but over the day now I'm up $1,150 after fees. So there's so much more options with this that for me now it's not good for everyone. But I've been watching Penguin. Most of you guys know I've tried his setup before a few times, but I've watched his videos for a year and a half, and I've been trading 2 accounts at a time. Well, I traded 3 on those trades that I took on, I'm pretty sure it was Friday. I think this was Friday. I think it was Friday or Thursday. I can't remember. But these trades, I traded 3 accounts, 4 accounts there, and an individual account on that last one. I think it was, I think my stop was up here, and I think I was out about here because it was quite later in the day, if I remember rightly. But I can't remember the last time I took 3 trades. I took 1 Pat's trade, lost it, and took 3 winning trades in a row. So what I'm going to start doing is, if I do take some later in the day, I'll record them. I did actually take a screenshot of me actually in a trade. I can't remember what I shown you. Yeah, that was on there. So that was, it was just on the 1p account that was. Let's have a look. Yeah, the 1p account. But you can, I actually got in, let me think, was it there? No, I can't remember. I think it was, I can't remember. I'm waffling a bit now. But we had that move up. We had 2 legs back. Wherever I got in anyway. This was that last trade there. But I jumped in there and got out here, and that worked perfectly. Same again, 2 legs down, 2 clear attempts to push up. Put my order in there. In fact, I think I dropped it in there. I was out well before the lows. Stop was up here, and it worked beautifully. And then I just had the 1 account, which I hadn't traded, and that was it there. And you can see overall, we had a push up, a correction, and 2 legs up. So you've just got so much more time to think. So I'd advise you, if you guys don't, watch Penguin. A lot of you probably do, but he's such a skilled trader. He reads those markets like a palm reader reads the palm of the hand. I mean, literally. So where was that other trade I got in? I think I got in about here, wasn't it? Something like that. It's around about there after 2 legs. So that was a loss. That was a win. And that's okay. So I think I got in around about here. Stop was around about there. Profit was out here. So that one was a loss. Let's put it there. So that was a loss. And that one was a win. Do you know, I read a lot about, somebody mentioned it, who was the Penguin guy? I'll show you in a bit. I'll bring his channel up for you in a bit. Let me just sort this out. I was recently reading or listening to, let's have a look, listening to Tom Hugard, and he was saying great traders that in his opinion get out of losing trades quick and milk as much as they can out of winning trades. Well, no disrespect for trading Pats, you can't get out of losing trades. It doesn't really work, because if you get into Pats here, let's say for instance I was taking, I don't know, let's say I was taking a short here, or let's find one here. If I was taking a short here, triggers you, your stop goes above there. Sometimes it'll go towards you and then pull back, but you can't get out of it earlier. Whereas the move I have there, at any point in time, if I rediscover something, or I think I've missed something, or I've misjudged something, I can get out for less of a loss. That first loss I took, I think I lost $40. And after that win, so I've had 1 loss and 1 win, and I'm up after fees $114 on average per account. That won't exist with Pats, because you always lose more than you win, depending on whether you're going for 1, 2 or 3 points. So you just haven't got that option, and this just gives you so much breathing space. I just finding trading relaxing. Sorry if I'm waffling on a bit. I'm just pleased that I seem to be found something that tends to work a little bit better for me. So let's find this guy. Let's find him. Most of you know him. I joined his forum a long time ago. In fact, I'm still in his Discord. He just doesn't. But it's almost identical to Pat's, but a blown out version with bigger stops. So that's the guy there. I'm telling you now, this guy is super skilled when it comes. I think he's been trading for about 10 years. But watch his videos. I'll open one now quickly. He won't mind. I'll just kill the... let's have a look. Right, that's the NQ. So I've taken one trade on the NQ, one trade on the ES as well, 2 trades on the ES. So yeah, it's pretty hard for me to describe it without kind of letting him talk. But watch his videos. I think most of you guys know him anyway, but watch his videos. He does a video, I think, about every 3 days. That was 4 days, 6 days, 9 days, 10 days. So, but he's very, very good. And he made a video once about a year and a half ago and said he started with Pats, but he just couldn't make it work. And I get why. It's almost like walking a tightrope. You just have no room, the slightest error and you're off. Whereas, this is just so, that worked beautifully. That one didn't, but I realised it was going nowhere and I got out around about here for I think a $40 loss, something like that. So the guys using mini futures cap micros, these are. That's why the chart looks a bit different. And the beauty is that came down, which is why I got a better second. Once it started to push, I added to it. So you can, you'll hear a lot of traders saying they add to a winning trade. You can't do that with Pats. And that's kind of what I like about this. It just works beautifully. And you can add to it. And you can also take away as well. You could take away a trade. If you were in it for 2 micros, you could get out of it. Penguin trades, yeah. Listen to him. He reads, I'm telling you now, he's almost like a palm reader when he comes to reading those. And you can tell... When you've listened to someone, you can tell they know what they're talking about. I've been trading long enough now to know when I'm being bullshitted, and he doesn't. You can join his YouTube channel or his group or his website. It's only $19 a month. I haven't, but I've watched him long enough to kind of know that I can get whatever I need from his videos. I'm in his Discord as well, but not many people are using it at the moment for some reason. They have like I think on his website there is like a forum that people tend to chat a bit, but since he started trading and giving bigger stops, that's when I've noticed things work better. Tight stops, you've got no room for error. I can't tell you how many trades that I lost that went against me. 1 tick, 3 ticks, a 1.5, and ended up working. I took a trade Friday and I said my read was right, but my entry was wrong. I entered into congestion. It stopped me out for a 1.5 and then went on to work. So if I'd have been trading this style, it would have worked. But I'm up, if I can get on average $100 a day, I would be over the moon with that. You don't need to earn a lot of money in this if you've got multiple accounts. If no charges, so too cheap, just trusting that person. Yeah, most of us, we've talked about Penguin many times since I started streaming over 2 years ago, many times. And I have tried some of his setups. But I can't, we all know how powerful measured legs are. a lot of the time when you get two legs, market reverse, or at least temporarily. But if I can get one winning trade a day or up $100, I kind of be over the moon. I would. So I'm gonna have to start learning how to mark my trade properly as well. I think I got in. It was about here somewhere. I think it was. I got in a little bit early actually. I think it was there, and I put that there. In fact, I was out lower than that, wasn't I? I put that there, I think. So maybe I got in a bit early. That was it. So, one contract 95, or you can add to it. But I got to say, I feel I'm enjoying trading now so much more. I feel like I can finally breathe. Scalping, you guys know me, I'm quite a wired person. So, when you're a bit like that, it's kind of like you can shoot off like a rocket. And, sometimes I can get in on a whim, you get a little bit too excited or a little bit too wired and shall I, shan't I? And I can be a little bit impulsive like that. So I'm wondering whether there's a bigger channel down there. There could be, actually. You can clearly see we're coming down. That's why I like the short there, but obviously it looks even better now. And sometimes, if we take a trade here, if we're Pat's traders and we're looking for a short here, how many times do we not get a signal bar and we know where the market's going? It doesn't really matter trading this style because of the bigger stops. And even if we were going to have a break there, there's still a good chance that stop would not get hit before we pushed down and made a new low. So I can't tell you how many trades I've walked away from because the signal bar doesn't look right. And I'm just not finding enough setups, really. And my patience is failing a touch, and I'm getting into congestion, and it's... oh, here we go. Max just posted that, which is more or less... Yeah, it's more or less what I've got. So yeah, I could clearly see it was kind of working down, which is why I was interested in a short there, but that's Max chart. So there we go. You can adapt and change things, make your style. Yeah, you can do. I remember I had an email from Mac once. I messaged him when I was back with it, as part of his forum. And I said, if I do this, will this work? And I think at the time, I was taking a point and I wanted to go for a little bit more because I found that if I won 4-5 trades in a row and lost one, I was in the red. So I said to Mac, what if I put a limit order in 2 ticks back and then go for 6 ticks? So effectively, I'm still really going for 4 ticks above the signal bar. I'm just putting a limit order in. He said, you can do that. That's okay. In some instances, though, you may miss good trades. He said, but as you get more experience, you learn the basics from me. As you get more experience, you'll find your own ways of doing things. And it, I don't know how many traders we've listened to that, learned a certain way and then slightly adjusted things and slightly adapted things. And it's kind of how it works, really. The market, there's lots of ways. There is, especially being a price action trader, if you're traders that may just enter at certain levels, you may not pay as much attention to the price action. But when you're a price action trader, and we literally mark every little tiny micro channel, you do get used to knowing how price reacts. We can clearly move down there. We've had a break and we made a new low. Channel there, break, new high. Channel there, break, new low. Channel there, break, new low. Another channel there with a break and a new low. Channel up, break. So we know how the market tends to work. And you can adapt that to many different kind of ways of trading. And, really make it work. So on that note, folks, I'm going to finish early today. We've got... we're having some... Well, we're supposed to have these solar panels fitted last week, but the scaffolders didn't put the scaffolding further along the roof, so they couldn't get the last 2 solar panels on the roof. So I know they knocked at the door about 10 minutes ago, so I think they want to speak to me anyway. So I'm going to leave it there, folks. So win and a loss today. Got out that one, realised it was going nowhere, so got out that one for maybe a $40 loss or something like that, and that one worked beautifully. So I'm up $1,140 for the day. So that's I'm really pleased with that, which is kind of another reason why I want to finish on a high note. So I had a great Friday. Wednesday I did a couple of penguin trades, and they both worked as well. I did a couple of bits in the week, and obviously, you know, it's worked well today. So yeah, you take it easy. So I'm sorry I've waffled on a bit today. I feel a bit keyed up today, and I just feel like I'm trading with some relief for a change. So I think I may have found something that works a little bit better for me. Obviously, it's not completely new. We've played around with it before. So I'm going to leave you folks there. So is it Monday today? It is, isn't it? Yeah. So best of luck today. I hope you have a good day. Have a great evening. Stay safe. And I'll be here tomorrow, Tuesday. We've got a holiday coming up, haven't we? A US holiday. Is it Juneteenth or something else? I'm sure there's a holiday next week. I'm not sure. So anyway, I'll leave you guys to it. So best of luck to you, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Bye for now.